thing that we just did, for example, to tap into the viewer around our show Glee, is to issue out a contest on YouTube for "I'm the Biggest Glee," and tell us why, and with the expectation that the top few videos will be able to draw from that content and put it in on-air promo. And so I think that there's really neat ways to turn your Maven fans into marketers for you by doing that. Will non-professionally produced video ever overtake the professional content at the studios as far as mind share? I think that there's a role for it, but I think people still love great storytelling. There's really good writers and producers and directors out there that create that great content. And so you're not going to get a YouTube contest that will rival American Idol. But I think that there's more and more of the fun stuff that's being created online that we're trying to harness as opposed to fight.
And that leads into some of what you're doing, Curt, with the deal with Massify. Can you enlighten us a little bit about what you're doing there?
Well, yeah, Massify is a project where Massify was started as a crowdsourcing community, which is using the crowd, the masses, or the tribe, as I think Joe Roth described earlier, that goes to the site to create their own content. And it's really turned into a social network. More than that, as a business, I think they have about 60,000 mostly non-professional filmmakers. And we're doing a deal with them where we're running a contest to create a high-concept short comedy. The writer's already been picked. We're now in the process of picking the director. That community will amass the group of filmmakers and actors that will make that film. They've already done this for several projects, including music videos, a couple of features, etc. And ultimately, what comes out of that, it will premiere on YouTube. We'll have a special channel that will watch the making of this on YouTube. And if it's really something that comes out to be successful, then we have the rights and the ability to turn that either into a feature film or into a television series. And the idea was, again, to kind of embrace some way to look at a means of finding new content. These are people, I mean, I just met with the writer last week who won, and she's a woman from Utah who came to LA to try to get into the television business as a writer. She does stand-up comedy shows at her house with a bunch of other comedians that can't get booked at clubs. And she's just beyond thrilled that she couldn't believe out of 1,400 entries, hers was the one that was chosen as the winner. So it's a real, it's kind of its own little mini American Idol type thing in terms of trying to expose new talent and find new ways to find that talent. And whether it turns into a regular sort of standard operating process for us, I really don't know. We'll see how this all turns out. But I think it's important for all the media companies to experiment in these ways right now and try things, because you really don't know where a lot of this is going to go right now. I think the biggest challenge for all the media companies is the lack of clarity about how this business kind of transforms over the course of the next 5, 10, 15 years.